All right, let's get into it. Today, we are tackling the very foundation of every great workout: how to properly clean and maintain your rubber gym flooring. Whether you've got a killer home gym setup or you're running a commercial facility, getting this right is huge. It protects your investment, and more importantly, it keeps your space safe.
I mean, just think about it for a second. That pristine, spotless floor is the very first thing you see when you walk in. It totally sets the tone. It screams safety, hygiene, and performance. There's a saying I love: if your athletes matter, the surface they train on matters. So today, we are going to build our knowledge from the ground up, literally.
So here's the game plan. We've got 5 key sections to cover. We're going to start with the why this is so important. Then we'll assemble our cleaning toolkit. After that, I'll walk you through the perfect 4-step method, cover the critical mistakes that could absolutely destroy your floor, and then we'll finish up with some pro tips for that next level care.
Okay, let's start at the beginning, the foundation. Because look, before we get into the how to clean, we really need to understand why this is so crucial. A dirty gym floor isn't just ugly, it's a serious hazard for your health, your safety, and yeah, your wallet.
Let's break this down into 3 big reasons. First up, your health. I mean, it's a gym. Every drop of sweat, every breath can leave behind nasty germs. No surprise that gym cleanliness is a top concern, right? Second, your safety. Sweat and dust create this invisible, slippery film on the floor. The last thing you want is to lose your footing in the middle of a heavy lift. And finally, you gotta protect your investment. All that chalk, dirt, and grit acts just like sandpaper, slowly grinding away at your expensive flooring.
All right, on to section 2. We've totally nailed down the why, so now let's get into the what. We're assembling our cleaning arsenal. And trust me, having the right tools is half the battle. Your cleaning toolkit should be gentle but super effective. A vacuum is awesome, but, and this is a big one, it absolutely cannot have one of those aggressive beater brushes that just chews up the rubber. A soft bristle broom is the perfect alternative. A microfiber mop, that's your new best friend. It grabs all the dirt without leaving lint behind like an old cotton mop. 2 buckets are completely non-negotiable for a real clean. We'll get to why in a bit. And for those stubborn spats, a soft bristle brush and a plastic scraper are key. And please, remember, never ever use metal. Okay, now for probably the single most important item in your entire toolkit, the cleaning solution itself. It has to be pH neutral. So what does that actually mean? It just means the cleaner isn't acidic and it isn't alkaline. It's perfectly balanced so it can clean effectively without breaking down the rubber, causing it to fade, or making it brittle over time.
So really, it all boils down to a simple choice: what you should reach for and what you need to run away from. On the safe side, you've got your dedicated pH-neutral cleaners, or even a simple mix of mild dish soap and water. But on the never-use side, yikes. Oil-based cleaners like Pine Sol, they leave a super slippery residue that's not only dangerous, but actually attracts more dirt. Strong solvents, straight-up bleach, and even just hot water can strip the rubber's protective layers and cause permanent damage.
Okay, let's get to the main event. This is how it all comes together. We're going to walk through a super simple, repeatable 4-step method that will give you a perfect clean every single time. And here it is. Clear, spot treat, mop, and dry. See? It's that straightforward. The secret here isn't complexity. It's all about consistency. Following these 4 steps, in this exact order, is what guarantees a deep, comprehensive clean. Step 1 is basically your warm-up. You've got to get all the loose stuff, the dust, the chalk, the dirt off the floor first. If you skip this, you're not cleaning, you're just making mud as soon as you start mopping. A soft broom, the right kind of vacuum, or, hey, even a leaf blower in a garage gym can get this job done fast.
Next up, you go after the trouble spots. You know what I'm talking about. Scuff marks from shoes, caked on chalk, maybe that little bit of protein shake that spilled yesterday. Just use your soft bristle brush and a little bit of your cleaning solution to gently scrub these areas. This makes sure they get the attention they need and you don't end up spreading them around when you mop.
And now, the main event, mopping. The 2-bucket method is absolutely critical. One bucket has your pH-neutral cleaning solution, the other has clean rinse water. Here's how it works. You dip your mop in the solution, mop a section of the floor, then, and this is key, you rinse the dirty mop in the clean water bucket before you ever put it back in the cleaning solution. This stops you from just spreading dirty water everywhere. And the golden rule here is damp, not wet. A dripping, sopping wet mop can let water seep into the seams and totally wreck your subfloor. And finally, the step that's all about safety, let it dry. Let it dry completely. A wet rubber floor is unbelievably slippery.
Air drying is always the best way to go. Sure, you can open some windows or use fans to speed things up, but don't rush it. Try to plan your cleaning for off hours when no one will be using the space. A little patience here prevents a lot of potential injuries. Okay, so we've learned exactly what to do. Now let's talk about maybe one of the most valuable parts of this entire explainer, what not to do. Seriously, avoiding these common mistakes will save you from some really expensive, permanent damage.
So just think for a second. With everything we've talked about so far, what do you think it is? What's the single biggest, most destructive mistake you can possibly make when you're cleaning a rubber gym floor?
The answer is actually pretty simple: using the wrong cleaning agent. To put it as plainly as possible, harsh chemicals are your rubber floor's absolute worst enemy. They don't just clean poorly, they can literally break down the very structure of the rubber itself.
So this right here is your ultimate cheat sheet of what to avoid. That Pine Sol, it makes your floor dangerously slick and a magnet for more dirt. Undiluted bleach and vinegar, way too acidic. They will degrade the rubber. Abrasive pads like steel wool, you might as well just carve your name into the floor because they will leave permanent scratches. And that aggressive beater brush on your vacuum, yeah, that's just sandpaper in disguise. This is the list of things you need to keep far, far away from your gym.
All right, you have officially mastered the basics, and you know exactly what to avoid. So let's level up. It's time for some pro tips that go beyond the weekly clean to make sure your floor lasts for years and years to come.
Here's a huge one, especially for anyone who has a brand new floor. Do not, I repeat, do not clean it for at least 72 hours after it's been installed. That 3-day window is absolutely crucial. It's the time the adhesive needs to fully cure and bond. If you clean it too soon, you could mess up the entire installation.
It's also super important to know that not all rubber floors are created equal. You have to adapt your technique. If you have rolled flooring, it's mostly seamless. That makes it more forgiving, and you can even use an automatic floor scrubber on it. But if you have interlocking tiles, you've got seams, and those seams are vulnerable to moisture. This is where that damp, not wet rule we talked about becomes absolutely essential. It's what prevents water from seeping underneath and causing mold or subfloor damage.
You know, at the end of the day, caring for your floor is about so much more than just maintenance. It really reflects a bigger commitment, a dedication to excellence. A clean, safe space shows that you care about the details, whether that's for yourself, for your family, or for your clients. So, I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Take a good, hard look at your gym floor. Is its condition, its cleanliness, its safety, its state of repair, is it truly reflecting your commitment to your health and your goals?